Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Today is Monday, the 12th of February, 2024. I'm DSP, in case you didn't know, and I'm actually feeling rejuvenated today. After yesterday, where I actually felt really tired out, having, trying to recuperate there for my Super Bowl marathon event, today I'm feeling much better. My body doesn't feel sore. I don't feel sluggish or tired. So I'm excited for today's streaming day, and I hope that you guys are too. Big variety today with more Tekken 8 and a brand new character, the first new character I've used in weeks, which is great. More relaxing Pal World tonight. I'm excited for the rest of this week because we're now going to have the first ever co-op stream between myself and my wife, Kat, coming up on Wednesday. Are you guys aware about the new announcement this morning? The Xbox business event or business announcement is coming this Thursday. Curious to see what it's going to be after all the speculation. It's going to be an exciting week for sure. And I hope that you're all, going to be tuning in if you can. So good stuff going on right now. Hope you're all in a good mood, good spirits. A new week starts. The Super Bowl is over. The festivities are done. The champagne's been popped. Hopefully we don't have to hear about Taylor Swift for about another year. I've had enough of that. We can now move on, correct? I'm definitely excited today for the premiere of Yoshimitsu. Let me tell you guys something. Last night, I studied up on Yoshimitsu in Tekken 8. I watched a 20-minute primer for the character. Then I watched someone's 45-minute, more in-depth exploration of said character, including things like punishes, good combos, good mix-ups. And then I watched a couple of matchups. And Yoshimitsu in Tekken has always been the most oddball character. Like, Tekken always just had weird character builds and things that are like, wow, what is this? I mean, there literally was a character in Tekken 2 who was a scientist who couldn't attack. All he did was roll around on the floor and accidentally stumble into you to win matches. I mean, he was the worst character in the game, but he was still a playable character. In Tekken, historically, Yoshimitsu always is a character that changes a little bit with each game and gets new things that are awesome, but at the same time, he retains some staple things that are always weird. I mean, he uses a sword in a hand-to-hand fighting game. He has an actual sword, and he has the most unblockable moves of any character in Tekken, which is awesome. At the same time, most people know the unblockable moves because they've been around for so long that they don't really fall for them. There's just a lot to the character, let's put it that way. And in Tekken 8, they improved him even more. Like, they gave him more tools and more things, more stances, more changes between the stances. And if you go online and you watch anyone play with this character, basically they're like, there's no right or wrong way to play Yoshimitsu because he has so much. Like, I think he might have arguably the biggest move list of anyone in Tekken 8. And that's obviously a good thing, but at the same time, especially someone who's a beginner like me with this character, it's daunting to figure out, well, what should I be doing? what are the best strategies, because everyone disagrees. Like, you watch a pro player use Yoshimitsu, and one player will constantly be using this one poke or this one attempt to mix you up or counter hit you, and then another player is constantly doing stance changes, and then another player is doing like throw tricks, and it's like, what is this? Like, everyone plays them completely differently. I mean, that's a great thing. It means that the game has variety in how it's played. And honestly, that's the sign of a very good fighting game. That the same character can be played completely differently by 2 to 3 different people, and it's all competitively viable. The worst part about a fighting game is if characters are so one-dimensional that everyone plays them identically. Take a look at characters like Ken in Street Fighter 6, where pretty much that's the case, right? So, that's a great thing. The problem, however, with a character like Yoshimitsu in Tekken is that he's got so much going on that it's very hard to figure out what's the optimal thing I should be doing in any situation. When you, at any moment, if you have 17 options, and I wish that was an exaggeration, but like, he has like 4 different ways to launch the opponent into a combo. He's got stance changes that mix up. He's got stance changes that go into throw or a juggle or a low. He's got unblockables. He's got little pokes that can lead into his heat, and then the heat situation turns into different things. So that's what I mean. Like, he has so many different things. When you're learning the character, what do you use? Like, you just got to guess, right? And I feel like today, here's how we're going to do it. After we boot the game up, we're going to go right into training mode and mess with this character for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I want to practice a couple combos and a few things I saw online just to be sure that I'm understanding exactly what the inputs are for them. He has this new mechanic called Flash that in the middle of a combo, it kind of resets the combo. It's weird. So I want to try these different things and just figure out what exactly we're doing with them before we jump online. But I am going to do online play today, and I feel like it's going to be a mishmash of me trying all these different strategies and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. I'm pretty excited for that. So I hope you guys will join me today for my Yoshimitsu premiere in Tekken 8. You know, the hope is today I learn the basics, and then as I continue to play with the character moving forward, I can get more advanced and get better with him with matchup knowledge. Because ultimately, that's what it is. You need to have matchup knowledge with the character. Okay, in this match, I'm fighting this character. This stuff's this. This is good to do against this character, etc., etc. And I won't know that till I start using him. Okay? Anyway, I'm excited to try him out today, and it's going to be a good day overall. What we should do, let's recap everything that happened yesterday on the streams very quickly, and then let's talk about the schedule for the week so you guys know exactly what to expect coming forward, because this is an exciting week for stuff going on, and then we're just going to basically chill. Really nothing really major today. No real game news. I mean, it was the Super Bowl. What game news were you going to have, right? Just that, you know, we'll talk a little bit about that Xbox announcement later in the week, but outside of that, yeah, it's going to be a lot of chill today, probably a lot of Q&A and just hanging out. And if we end up running out of stuff to talk about, we want to end a little early and jump back and go into Tekken a little early so I could get more time in training mode or whatever, and before we go online, I'm down for that. Okay? Cool. All right, so yesterday was the 11th of February, Super Bowl Sunday. Now, I knew with the Super Bowl going on that likely I was going to have less people attending my streams. For the most part, that was true. Although it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, for example, normally on any of my React streams, I'll get around between 300 to 350 viewers. We varied between like 220 to like 300 for most of the streams. So it was a little bit less, but not that less. Not that much less, I should say. For Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, like literally I was streaming as the game was continuing into overtime. Definitely we had less viewers than normal. And then I think some of them kind of joined the end of the stream. Definitely, you know, for a day for engagement and support, yeah, it was on the lower side. I'm not going to cry about it. It's fine. You know, we got lots of great stuff coming up this week and no more Super Bowl. So we can focus on the rest of the stuff without many distractions this week, which is good. So no problems there. What did I do yesterday? Well, it was the React show. And on the React show, DSP versus the internet, it was a wide variety of clips. Let's put it that way. They were all over the place, these clips. Some were disturbing. Some were unfunny, some were very clickbaity, and some were like, okay, that's a YouTube trend. Others were actually funny and well done. Some were insightful, some interesting documentary style stuff where I learned a lot about different various things. Saw someone build like a nice aquarium from the ground up. You know, just good stuff in general. When you have variety, that's the best part. But there was one running theme yesterday. Half the freaking clips kept getting claimed and blocked and having issues. And it's weird because with this React show, sometimes the entire show will be fine. And then other times, the entire show is a problem. Yesterday, literally, the entire show was a problem. Like, we watched an Uncle Roger clip. And we've watched Uncle Roger many times before on YouTube. That got prevented. Oh, we're detecting copyrighted content. Stop watching it now. I'm like, we've reacted to Uncle Roger a bunch in the last year. Why now all of a sudden has it become so taboo we can't watch it? Plus, it's legal to react. It's been proven in a court of law by a judge who ruled that it's illegal to react to content. They have no right to block me from reacting to the content. It's bullshit. Now, I'll be honest, I do feel like some of the clips, because some of the clips were very oddball. Not to say that they weren't entertaining, but they were oddball clips. And they were like, well, why is this in the show? And then all of a sudden the clip gets blocked. Oh, okay. So go to the next clip. Okay, well, this is a little weird too. Why is this in the show? Oh, look, this clip got blocked too. I get the feeling we might have some people out there with malicious intentions, all right? Which is sad, but certainly not unprecedented. I think we have a couple people who basically are submitting clips that they know are going to get blocked on YouTube on purpose, and so they're submitting them for that very reason, so that basically the stream will get shut down. And so what I'm gonna have to do is start looking into this and testing for myself, perhaps beforehand. I'll keep an eye on it, because you know you can establish a pattern. If it's the same person doing it every week, then you know it's a pattern, right? It's someone who knows what clips can't be rewatched on YouTube or whatever. So, but we'll see. But the bummer was I uploaded the show to the channel, and 2 videos outright got blocked. Like, outright just cannot be viewed anywhere worldwide. And I'm like, why? Oh, well, this one has a clip of SNL. This one has a sports clip and this and that. So when that happens, what you have to do is you have to rely on YouTube's in-video editor to edit out the content that it deems as should be blocked. And the problem with that editor is that, number one, it doesn't always catch all the content and the video still gets blocked. And number two, it takes hours to do. So, for example, one of the videos was like, oh, this SNL music video or whatever. And I'm like, okay, we'll edit it out. And it goes, okay, it's detected here, here, and here. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the whole thing. Like, what it is, every time I pressed play on the video, it was detected. When I paused it to comment on it, then it like, oh, stopped the claim or whatever. So it tried to edit it out, and it still didn't do a good job. And I had to run it twice, basically, to get it to actually finally edit it out of the clip. And then there was one video where there was like 2 to 3 different things that all got blocked. So I had to run it through this editor like 3 times. And again, each time it takes like 2 hours. So it's like, okay, I upload, now it's blocked. So during my second stream, I set it to run. Still blocked. When I'm going to sleep, I run it again. Still blocked. And then overnight, one of my editors jumped on the channel because they were working on possibly setting up the thumbnails for the videos. And they noticed the video was still blocked. They checked, and it said, there's still copywritten content. And they ran it again through an edit, and then finally it unblocked and was visible. It's like, oh my God. How much work for a video that's going to get 200 to 300 views, right? On the channel. This much work just to get it viewable. So anyway, not a huge deal, but still just part of the process of being a YouTuber, having to deal with this kind of nonsense. So all the videos, again, they should be live over the course of the week. 2 are live. You know, it was a good show. Don't get me wrong. I liked the React show. It's just weird that sometimes it's like smooth sailing and everything's cool. And then other times it's like ridiculous hardship just to get videos visible on the internet, even though they're all legal. Everything I do on that show is completely under fair use law, but YouTube doesn't give a shit. They just abuse the law constantly, which is hilarious. Anyway. So that was the first stream. And then on the late stream, it was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And I really liked this stream because we got to take advantage of all the things that I had earned and unlocked during the 3.5 hours that I had played the game during my Super Bowl marathon event. Now, keep in mind, I hadn't planned on playing it 3.5 hours during the Super Bowl event. It was unexpected that it was going to take me that long to get through the challenge dungeon and get the amount of currency and stuff that I needed to unlock the jobs to progress with the playthrough. So, basically, it was fun, and we got to try out the linebacker, the samurai, the action star, which is basically like a martial artist like Bruce Lee, and the geo dancer, which is basically a Hawaiian hula dancer. They're all interesting. They all have these strengths and weaknesses. Honestly, I would say right now, the linebacker and the action star don't really appeal to me because they're not very powerful from what I've seen. But it might very well just be that I don't have good weapons. Like the linebacker, I don't even have. I have a basic weapon that's weak, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe if I got better weapons, it would be more damaging and I'd like him better. But I think that the samurai is probably the best of all the new classes. Seems like he can do wild damage and take advantage of bleed and all kinds of stuff. So definitely cool. And what I'm working towards is unlocking other classes. For example, there's the tennis player, and I think the other one is the chef, which is a returning class from the first game. I got all the stats that I needed. We went back to the vocational school. I unlocked the stats I needed to get those jobs, but then I didn't have the money. So basically, we continued on with the story, and we started unlocking money. I was very close to having enough to get them, and then we hit Chapter 6, and Chapter 6 introduced Dondoko Island, which is the Animal Crossing / Disney Dreamlight Valley / whatever sim game you kind of want to talk about, where you create your own virtual community. And this is very time consuming. If you play this whole mode, it's anywhere from 10 to 15 hours long, but apparently it's very rewarding. In the game, if you complete it, you get tons of in-game currency plus some good items to do other stuff with. So a lot of people say it's totally worth it. Just do it. Even if you're not doing it as a major part of your playthrough, just do it when you have free time. Jump in there a couple hours a day and grind through it. It's totally worth it. So my wife has already beaten it and said, yeah, it was totally worth it, but it was time consuming. So this is the mode that Kat and I are going to actually do co-op later this week. And I'll explain that in a minute as I go further through the schedule, okay? But the good news is we arrived there and we're now in the tutorial segment for it. So next time when I play, we're going to finish that tutorial segment, which I think it takes about an hour. You go through it and you do all the basics of the island. It teaches you the ins and outs. And then what happens is when you finish that, the island now becomes visitable whenever you want in the game. You could go there and you can grind on the island and you could do the whole thing in one sitting if you really wanted to, but I can't imagine anyone sitting there for 10, 15 hours straight doing it. It'll be very boring and tedious. But every once in a while, all right, basically to jump in and be able to just kind of relax with it and earn currency and stuff is great. And so I can't wait to try it with my wife later on in the week. But that's where we left it. Like I saved right in the middle of the tutorial because we were already going late. I was like, all right, when we play again later in the week, I'll finish that up and get it ready to go when I do my first co-op with Kat. So there you go. So that was yesterday's streams. Good stuff all around. Relaxing, fun stuff. But now we get more into, the action of the week today. So let's talk about the schedule for the upcoming week. So first of all, and by the way, I'm going to say this because I've seen comments about this. So people are now saying that YouTube is spamming ads on streams and content. If they are, I have no idea how to fix it. YouTube, here's what they did. All right? When I set up a stream, I'll make this clear for everyone before we get into the schedule because a lot of people have been mentioning this. When I set up a stream, I have options. And my options are as follows for monetization. None whatsoever, meaning no one can contribute and no ads at all. Conservative, balanced, and aggressive. Now, when I was setting these up a couple months ago when I started using these ads, basically the way it worked was conservative would run an ad like maybe once an hour, once a half an hour. Balanced would usually run an ad about once a half an hour, maybe a little more frequently than like 20 minutes, but usually it was about a half an hour. And then aggressive was like running ads like every 10 minutes. Okay? So when I was setting this up, I never was using aggressive. I was always setting it to be balanced. Okay? At the most. Sometimes certain streams I would go conservative, but for the most I was setting it up as balanced. Okay? And no one seemed to have issue with that. In fact, people were telling me, go ahead and run ads. If you need the help for your business, please run the ads. People were actually telling me to do so. So I said, okay, let's do it. And I didn't get any complaints. Like, everyone was fine with this. And what would happen is, sometimes I'd be in the middle of doing something on stream that's important. And let's say I was going to tell you an important subject matter or whatever. A pop-up would usually appear in my dashboard. This is where I'm staring right now when I broadcast. I have a YouTube dashboard. And a pop-up would say, hey, an ad's about to run. Click here to, like, skip. And you could skip an ad. And so I would do that every once in a while where I would skip an ad if it was, in your face or whatever, and it was going to bother what we were doing. Like, if we're in a critical boss fight, skip the ad. If I'm telling you an important story that I need to know, it's something important to all of us in the streams, skip the ad. I would do this pretty frequently. Okay? So I don't know what's going on, but here's what's happened in the last couple of days. YouTube removed the ability to skip ads. It's gone. They just removed it entirely from the dashboard. It doesn't exist anymore. So someone in their bright ideas at YouTube, which is what they do all the time, they just remove a feature without explaining why they removed it. So I have no ability to skip ads whatsoever. I don't even know when you guys are seeing ads or how many ads you're seeing. I have no control over it at all. Now it's literally 100% in the hands of YouTube. Okay? Now I still have it on balanced. I still have the stream set to balance right now. So if you guys are telling me that there's a ton of ads, I don't know what's going on. Now what's weird about it is people are saying that they think that maybe it has something to do with the mobile version, because some people are saying they're on mobile and they're getting tons of ads, and others are like, no, I'm on desktop and I don't know what you're talking about. Right? So once again, it sounds to me like YouTube changed everything and didn't tell anyone. There's been no communication from YouTube that they were changing the ad system whatsoever. Zero. And this, again, is very, very, very par for the course for YouTube. They will change things behind the scenes, tell no one, and then when everyone complains about it after the fact, then they do something about it. Okay? I don't know why they removed my ability to skip ads. Because I would skip a bunch, especially on the podcast, if I'm telling you something important, I would skip ads all the time, and I can't do it anymore. That's bullshit. It should be there. Why would you give someone an awesome ability and then just take it away without saying why and not even speak of it like it never existed, right? So, again, if you guys are seeing that the ads are absolutely ridiculously bad and intrusive, the only thing I can try is turning it on conservative and see if that helps anything. I don't, again, have we seen an increase in revenue since we turned on ads? Well, Avarice, here's the thing. I think we turned them on in December, right? It was either November or December that I started turning them on automatically. I saw a decent increase. It wasn't amazing. A little bit of an increase in ad revenue. But then again, I don't know if it was me turning on more ads or if it was just the season, because during that time of the year is the most ads that are most profitable anyway. Like September, October, November, December, that's the holiday season of ads. You always see an increase in ad revenue that time of year. So for me, I don't know. Was it because I turned on more? Was it because they were just paying more at the time? I have no idea. So I actually don't have the evidence that I need to figure that out. My problem now is I'm so down on money because all my memberships are basically fake that I can't tell anymore. I'm way down right now. Like, I'm way down. And every day it's actually getting worse. And I don't want to talk about this. I don't want you guys to hear about financial woes because it's not your fault. But yeah, I'm way down. Every day I'm losing money. It shows your income went down again, went down again, went down again. Because literally every legit membership is expiring and no one's re-upping them because they're just getting free ones. So, yeah. So I can't answer you. I wish I could say, oh yeah, everything's great because the ads were so profitable. No, actually it's the opposite for me. I'm doing bad because these idiots are fucking with my income. Okay? That's the reality of what's going on right now. So, that's that. Hey, you want to help out with that? Please do. Please support in some legit way. You know, a super chat, a tip, those things are legit. A paid real membership, that's legit. That will help me. Right now, I can tell you, when I get paid this month, it's going to be way less than what I usually get paid by YouTube. So things are going to be very tight. If you could tip this month to help with that, that would be tremendous. Tipping right now is very important for me to pay my bills and stuff. So please consider contributing to these streams. All right? Thank you. That's it. I just want to move on from that. So anyway, yeah, so I don't know what's going on with the ads. I would love to hear what your take is. If you think there's way too many ads and it's intrusive, I could try to go to conservative ads, but I don't even know if that's going to help. It sounds to me like YouTube just changed the whole ad thing without telling anyone. I can't skip ads. You're seeing more ads. What the hell is going on, right? The other thing you got to understand is right now, this week was Super Bowl, and in Super Bowl week, they always have more ads. So it very well could have been that YouTube had so many ads this week, they wanted to just spam everyone with as many as possible. And now they're going to run out and it's going to go back to normal. Because that could happen. That always happens this time of year. There's like tons of ads just Super Bowl week and then they dry up. So, there you go. Okay, let's continue. So now let's talk about the schedule for this coming week. Okay, so today it is Tekken 8 and I'm trying out Yoshimitsu. Like I said, first things first, we're going to go into training mode and I'm going to mess around with some of his basic moves, like his quick punishes, his combos. He has like 4 to 5 effective launchers. Seriously. He has down forward 2, which is uppercut. He's got up forward 3, which is a rising knee. He's got a sidestep 1, which is sidestep into an uppercut. All 3 of those are perfectly viable. He's got rolling 4-3, which makes him roll into an up kick. That's a huge launch. And then on top of that, he's got a stance where he does a helicopter blade. And from that stance, he's got a 2-hit juggle. So he basically has 3 to 4 effective ways to launch. And this is what I was telling you guys when I was playing with King. I'm like, man, I'm fighting the Mishimas. And it seems like everything the Mishimas do goes into a launch combo. Well, Yoshimitsu has that too. It's just that King doesn't have that. King has like 1 to 2 viable ways to juggle, and that's it. He's more about throws, while these other characters are all about get the hit into juggle and giant combo. So, yeah, I'm excited to try the character. I want to mess around with that. I want to mess around with his combos. He has big combos in this game, and everyone does them a little differently. But I tried to find a combo that was a little bit more advanced, but not super heavy on execution, so that way I can get it more consistently. I'm going to practice it in training mode a bit before we go online. And then once you go online, dude, there's just so much you can do with this character. He's got a really fast punishes. He's got punishes from mid-screen and pokes from mid-screen that are very damaging and from a distance, which is really cool. He's got so many tricky moves and mix-ups. Moves that look effective, and then you could turn them into 3 different things. Stance changing, and all of a sudden throw out of the stance, or low hit out of the stance into a juggle. It's crazy how much he has. He's very versatile of a character. So I'm excited to see what we could come up with today with this character, and see how I do with my first online play. Now keep in mind, since it's a new character, it means that when you start playing online, you play lower ranked people. There's nothing you can do about that. I find it hilarious that what happened like the other day, a week ago, I played with Paul. And now keep in mind, I had only used Paul for like an hour on launch day, and that was it. So I start using Paul again, and I'm playing lower ranked people, and people are like, oh, he's smurfing. This is ranked play, doofus. You can't smurf purposefully when you're playing ranked. You have to start from the bottom and get wins to rank your character up so you play the better players. You can't just jump to the better players. It's impossible. You have to play the lower ranked players first. Smurfing is intentionally lowering your rank so that you can play lower ranked people and beat the shit out of them. That's not what you're doing when you're using a new character. It's ludicrous how dumb these people are and the things they say. So anyway, that will happen. Like, I know probably when we first start using Yoshimitsu today, I'm going to be probably like bodying people, and there's nothing you can do about that. I have to get through these earlier lower ranks to get to the higher ranked people that are going to know what they're doing. So I don't know how today will go. Today might be I just get bodied because I don't know what I'm doing, or it could be I body people because they don't know what they're doing. What I will say is, as long as I enjoy today with Yoshimitsu, I will stick to him, and I will try to play with him more later in the week. Probably Friday Night Fights will also be Yoshimitsu, and likely between 2 different sessions, right? Then, hopefully, we should get to a point where I'm playing better players, and the matches are more competitive and fun to play and watch, right? But we'll see how it goes. Okay? So, Yoshimitsu today in Tekken 8. I'm excited to try a new character. Okay? Then, tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time, it is Pal World, my weekly Pal World chill stream. We return to the survival world where we continue to capture pals, level up our camp, explore the map, and fight bosses. Last time we actually beat the first boss, which was really fun. Today, I actually don't know what we're going to do. It seems like now we've kind of opened up a little bit because we completed all what's considered the tutorial challenges. They're gone now. So now we just kind of follow along with survival and expansion and chill stuff. So I hope you guys will join me tonight for the chill fun of Pal World. It should be a good time. Then tomorrow we return to Baldur's Gate 3. All right, Baldur's Gate 3. Should be a great time. We're now in Act 2, and we're into the Mausoleum, which actually is Char's Gauntlet Challenge, which I didn't know. And we're in there, and people are saying, yes, the Char's Gauntlet could take upwards of 2 different streams, because it's very lengthy, and it's basically like leads to the conclusion of the act. So that's tomorrow. First stream, doing the Char's Gauntlet Challenge, and see how it goes. And then tomorrow night is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, where what we're going to do is finish up the tutorial of Dondoko Island and go back to the main game for a little bit and get ready for the co-op stream I'm going to be doing Wednesday night with my wife, okay? Speaking of which, Wednesday, day stream again will be Baldur's Gate 3, where hopefully we'll finish the Shard's Gauntlet and maybe get near the end of Act 2. And then Wednesday night is the first ever cooperative stream between me and Kat. Dondoko Island co-op. We're going to build the island together. We're going to start designing it. I don't know if she'll play it or I will. It doesn't really matter because the gameplay of Dondoko Island is literally run around and beat things with your bat, collect resources, buy items, build things, invite visitors, craft, give them gifts. This is not complex gameplay. Either of us could do it. It's just kind of time waster gameplay. The important thing is the decisions. How do you want to set up the island? How do you effectively set it up so you get more satisfaction per guest? What style do you want the island to look? Because the island has 3 to 4 different styles you can select. So we're going to be doing all of that together on Wednesday night for the very first time here on stream. Kat has never actually done gameplay with me before. You know, she was here for a Halloween marathon in 2018 for literally 45 minutes. And then that was it. That was the end of it. So this time around, it'll actually be a full stream. And I hope that you guys will join me for that. It should be special to us. By the way, it's Valentine's Day, so it's the perfect day to finally have my wife actually do some gameplay with all of us here live together. And we're hoping it goes well, people like it, we enjoy it, and it's something that we want to keep doing. The whole point is we wanted to do Dondoko Island together ever since it was announced. And now if we do it together, this is something we can do maybe like twice a week on late streams and make good progress, earn in-game currency. That's going to help my regular playthrough of the game while getting the island done at the same time. Okay? So I hope you guys will join me for this, or I should say join us for this. Wednesday night, it'll be a really fun special event. First time ever co-op gameplay with my wife. And, you know, if this goes well, if people actually show up and engage and enjoy that stream, and people want more, then maybe in the future we'll look to more stuff, right? Maybe instead of it just being Dondoko Island, we'll look for other co-op opportunities. But this is our first attempt at it to see how it goes. Is there interest? Here's the thing. You got to understand something. I've been doing this for 15 years, and there's always a mixed reaction to when I do something that's not just me. Whether it was back in the day, co-op with, you know, friends coming over once a week to do co-op playthroughs. Whether it was fighting game footage. Whether it's co-op online in a shooting game or a survival game. Whatever it may be. Whenever there's co-op, there's criticism. And over the years, back in the day, I've involved various people in co-op, some of which people had a lot of issue with them being involved in my content, okay? Now, Kat has been in 2 Q&A videos, or 2 Q&A streams, I should say, in the last month, both of which went well. People showed up, engaged, supported, and really enjoyed those streams, and said, yes, please, more, but not just Q&A because the Q&A is going to get stale, which we both agreed on. When we finished that second Q&A, we were like, yeah, we don't want to do another one. Right now, if we do another one, it's going to get boring. We're getting kind of some of the same questions. What we want to do is wait until it makes more sense, like this co-op gameplay, okay? So, hopefully, you guys will show up Wednesday night and you know, chill with us and let us know how it goes. And if it's something you like, we'll probably do it like twice a week moving forward, because the mode is 10 to 15 hours long, all right? So we do 2 hours Wednesday, and if we're doing 4 hours each week moving forward, we should beat it, perhaps, but either by the end of February or early March, in which case I'll earn all the in-game rewards, all the currency, items, and everything, and that'll definitely help with the rest of the playthrough, okay? So, let's see how it goes on Wednesday, all right? Thursday, I'm off, but the funny part about that is, guess what was just announced this morning? The Microsoft Xbox Business Update will be announced during an Xbox podcast on this coming Thursday at noon Pacific time. Well, guess where I'm going to be doing at noon Pacific time? I'll be off. I'll be spending time with my wife and probably going grocery shopping. So, I'm not going to be watching that live. What will likely happen is my wife and I will watch that later on in the day, so that way I know what's going on with Xbox and I can talk about it on the podcast on Friday. But I'm not here on Thursday. It's just funny that this stuff always happens on my day off, right? Now, remember, this is actually a very important event because of all the rumors and speculation over the last week that Xbox is dying. Xbox apocalypse. Xbox no longer making first-party games. They'll all be cross-platform. Xbox is going the way of Sega, and they're not going to make consoles anymore. You know, all that stuff you heard is rumors, and then all of a sudden, within a few days of all the mass media false reporting the rumors as fact, then all of a sudden people went back and said, oh yeah, there's no substantiation whatsoever. It's all made up. Right, Jasper? Right, buddy? I told you it was made up. And he knew. Jasper is a smart kitty. He even said, there's no facts to what they're saying. They're just over-exaggerating for clickbait. He knew it. He's a smart cat. He doesn't buy into the hype of all the drama nonsense. Right, Jasper Kitty? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're sitting on my legs. Anyway, so we'll know, finally, we'll know for real this coming Thursday what's going on with Xbox. And I'll talk about it on the podcast on Friday. Friday will be more Baldur's Gate 3. So between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's 9 more hours of Baldur's Gate 3. And hopefully we'll finish the Shar's Temple Challenge or whatever it is, and maybe even get to the end of Act 2. My goal is I want to absolutely be in Act 3 of Baldur's Gate 3 when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth starts. I want to be like, okay, this is the finale, so if we delay it or whatever, or if it gets dramatically reduced how much we play, that's okay, because at least it feels like we're in the home stretch, correct? That's how I want it to do. So I hope within these 3 streams we're doing major progress and maybe start Act 3. That would be great, okay? Friday night will be Friday Night Fights, which is going to probably end up being more Yoshimitsu in Tekken 8. Saturday will be... I didn't actually think that far ahead yet. I'm thinking, what would Saturday be? I don't know yet. I'll have to think about it because it could be more Tekken 8, right? But I don't know if I would pick this Yoshimitsu again, because then we're doing Friday Night Fights and then we're doing Tekken again. So I don't know. I got to think about what I want to do on Saturday, actually. I would say probably like Saturday night would probably be regular Like a Dragon stream. And then maybe Sunday night would be Dondoko Island with Cat, like co-op. Something like that. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe Saturday night would be Dondoko Island. And then Sunday night would be regular Like a Dragon. And then Monday, Pal World. And then the same thing, like Tuesday, Dondoko, Wednesday, Like a Dragon. We'll have to figure it out, you know, depending on how Dondoko goes. But keep in mind, yeah, Tekken is day streams. So basically after Friday Night Fights, I have to see, do I want to do Tekken again? Like, do I want to do Tekken Friday night and then Saturday? And if I do that, then on Saturday, do I actually want to do something completely different? Like, do I not want to do Yoshimitsu a third stream? Do I want to maybe mix up characters? Go back to June for a bit? I don't know. We have to think about it, okay? Excuse me. So... No, I'm not saying don't go Island. It's Don Doko. D-O-N, Don, and then Doko, D-O-K-O. I thought it was Don Doko. It's not. It's Don Doko. That's how they pronounce it in the game, so I'm pronouncing it correctly. Not Don't Doko. Or Don't Go. Okay. Cool. All right, so that's the plans. All right, now, the next major game release is the end of the month, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It comes out on Thursday, the 29th. Now, normally, my day off is a Thursday, but the 29th is a Thursday. Don't ask me why they're releasing a video game on a Thursday. It doesn't make sense, but they are. So, I've decided that for that final week... What are you doing over there? What are you staring at? The light? I've decided that for the final week of the month, I'm going to have my day off on Wednesday instead. So that last week, instead of being a 6-day streaming week, it'll be a 5-day streaming week, and I'll have the Wednesday off rather than Thursday, and then that Thursday the 29th, I'll be here all day, and I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth the entire day. So there you go. How does that sound? Does that sound good? That way we can get a giant chunk into the game on launch day. You know, a good 7-8 hours into the game. Okay? Sunday says, play DK64. Sunday, I'm going to permanently ban you from the chat for saying that. How dare you? Okay. Anyway, so there you go. That's really what we're working on and focusing on right now. I know in March, there's going to be a lot of new releases. In March, we've got games like, I think, Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2, just to name a few. What I really need to do is I need to What are you doing over there? What are you doing over there, Jasper? I don't know what he's doing. He's looking at the lights. He's not chewing them. He's just like looking at them. Are you fascinated by the lights, the LEDs? His tail's going crazy. His tail's going woo 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 like this. What is going on over there? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing over here? Don't try to bite me. That's it. I'm gonna grab your tail. He's being silly. He's being a silly cat today. Anyway, so what we'll probably do is by the end of this month, at some point, we'll reassess the schedule. We'll see exactly what games are coming out starting in March. But I think for now, between making maximum progress in Baldur's Gate and the time we still have left before Final Fantasy VII comes out, continuing on with Dondoko Island Co-op on the night streams and alternating that with regular night streams of Like a Dragon, plus Tekken 8 progress, and every once in a while Pal World, like that's the month. Like we have enough to do this month. We don't need other games, to fill in the gaps or whatever. I've actually gotten asked, are you gonna play this one? Are you gonna play this one? Like, no, not really. We're good. We're set. And I understand some people are like, well, why are you only playing these certain set games? Because they're so long. I didn't make Baldur's Gate 3 140 hours. The game devs did, right? Like a Dragon, I didn't make the game. I'm 20 hours into Like a Dragon within 2 weeks. I'm playing it, 10 plus hours a week. If it were a normal length game, we'd be done by the end of February. But it's not a normal length game. The game's like 100 hours long. I didn't make it 100 hours long, right? I mean, Tekken's a fighting game and has an insane amount of content. And at this point, after Yoshimitsu, I have to strongly consider, am I going to keep playing new characters or just focus on the 4 characters I'm playing with? Do I do Yoshimitsu, Paul, King, and June and just stick to them? Because the more characters I play, the harder it's going to be to get good at the game because I'm spending my time split amongst all these characters rather than focusing on the ones that I've kind of learned and getting better with them, right? So it's a tough decision. There's a lot of things to consider here in all these games. And I don't want to overextend myself. If I play more games now, we're never going to finish the games we're playing. Like I said, it would be great by the time the Final Fantasy VII comes out in, 2 weeks, to be like good chunk into Act 3 of Baldur's Gate. So if we have to put it on hiatus for a while, or maybe we just do it as night streams for a few months, we're at least in the home stretch. It doesn't feel like, my God, I'm stuck in the middle of this playthrough and it's never going to end. Instead, we'll be like, okay, we're in the home stretch. It's fine. We can go back to it when we're ready and finish it, you see? So I guess we'll see what happens moving forward. And thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the content. Thank you for supporting the content. I appreciate all of that. And I hope you're enjoying the month. I'm actually having a really good time this month. I really am. I think that everything we're doing is fun. As stressful as it is to learn a new fighting game, I've been having a great time with Tekken 8. Because now we're like 2 weeks into Tekken, and people are like, well, what do you really think about it? I love it. I think the graphics are outstanding. I think the character variety is superb. Unlike a lot of other fighting games where their launch casts get boring within like a couple of weeks, this is huge variety in this game with the way that these characters play. It is kind of sad to not see a lot of characters get played. Because let's be honest, a lot of people pick the Mishimas. Or the heavy spam characters, right? Anyone who's a kick monster like fucking Lee or Huarang, those kind of characters. A lot of people went right for Reina, the new Mishima. There's a lot of characters we're not seeing a lot of play of, right? And there's 32 characters in this game, and we've barely seen half the cast in competitive play. But that's kind of what happens with these games. Everyone kind of, sadly, settles into like one thing and just kind of jumps on a bandwagon. I think in this game, you've seen the bandwagons characters early on. But I'm loving it. I think that it's a sound game, and it's funny because after having played Street Fighter 6 for 7+ months, I'm happy to play this one. I feel, even though this one I'd say is even more complex than Street Fighter 6. I think Tekken always has been more complex than Street Fighter 6, or any Street Fighter game actually. But I'm actually liking it. It feels refreshing to me to play this game. And you know what? For as advanced as the games are, I actually feel like execution, I get what I want more in Tekken than I was in Street Fighter. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the control scheme is easier to execute the moves or whatever. But I do feel like I'm getting what I want way more often playing Tekken than in Street Fighter. Half the time my moves would drop. And I don't know if that was the net code or whatever, but I feel like I do. And even with the connections, they're not as good as Street Fighter. Take a look at the connections I get. A lot of the times they're not as good, but I'm still seem to be able to do what I want to do in the game without too much difficulty. Why was it such a chore in Street Fighter 6? Why did my moves drop so often? I don't know, honestly. But I just feel like it's been a better experience, a more positive experience overall, playing Tekken 8 the last 2.5 weeks than it has been playing Street Fighter 6 the last 4 months. So maybe that's just because I'm burnt out on Street Fighter. I mean, I don't know. But I'm just really enjoying myself with the game. I like it a lot. I can't wait to try a new character today, and hopefully learn and do well and entertain you guys and have fun playing it. Again, this whole last year has been a reinvigoration for me of passion for fighting games. After not really caring crap about them for a decade, after Street Fighter V was sucky, right? Now I'm actually caring again, having a good time with them. The only bummer is I don't know if people are ever going to come back to my channel to watch fighting games. You guys who are here today and you stick around to watch Tekken, thank you. But I don't know if this is ever going to be like a mainstream. Will I ever get any crowd back to watch me play a fighting game? I don't know. It sucks because people used to come by in droves to watch me play fighting games, and then I basically retired them for a long time, and now that I've come back to play them more at a competitive level, I think I kind of lost that crowd. They don't really care anymore, right? So, I don't know. It's like I said, it sucks because here I am putting all this effort into learning, and I feel like I'm getting much better at the game, and the viewership is dwindling on it. It's like, that's the opposite of what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be that you get better, and people want to see you play more because you're getting better, and the matches are better. Not, oh, well, we're already bored of this. What's the next game, right? Okay. So, that's that. So guys, that's really all I got to talk about today. So what we're going to do is shout outs, and then we're going to do Q&A, and we're just going to hang out for a while, and once you guys feel like we've talked enough, then we're just going to jump into Tekken. I'm going to mess around with Yoshimitsu in training mode for a bit, get his basic strategies, combos, moves memorized, and then go online. Okay? So, let's start off today. Let's do some shout outs. First thing, we have a $6.66 tip from Hey Hachi. He says, I just want to give you support for your Tekken streams. Good luck today with Yoshimitsu. Thank you very much to Hey Hachi for a $6.66 tip to get today started. Thank you very much. I love this animation, by the way. One of my favorites. People forget that I have the animations for 420 and 666, but I do. That is definitely one of my favorites. So thank you so much there. What is it, buddy? Jasper Kitty. What is it? He's staring at me. Are you bored? There, you could go to the window in the bedroom. The window's open. All the birds and stuff are outside. You can watch. Tarantula MS has done a $10 tip this morning and says, hey, Phil, what's going on, Tarantula? Good to have you here. Thank you so much for supporting the stream this morning with that tip. I appreciate that, and that is so far the biggest contribution. So let's get you up on the leaderboard. Cool. There we go. Thank you, Tarantula. Let's see here. On the YouTube side of things, first super chat. Well, first of all, Fire7672, 2 years as a member this morning and says, Pogo sword for the win. Haha. Yeah, see, that's the thing with Yoshimitsu. He has so many stances and moves. You could play 3-4 matches with this guy and then just pull out a random stance out of nowhere and catch someone off guard because they're not expecting you to do that. Like, Pogo sword is wild. If you're fighting someone who's constantly doing low attacks, Pogo sword, I think it's down in 2 kicks. That's what I mean. I have to learn every move today in training mode before we go online. But basically, he just goes right on his sword like this, and if they try to attack low, it hits them. It just interrupts what they're doing. And then you could just jump, and he goes boingy, 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 and he hits you with his sword. Now, is it a foolproof move? No. But you do it every once in a while, it gets everyone off guard. They're like, what the shit is that? You know? He's that kind of a character. So good stuff. Thank you, Fire. And then, Apples Yo did a $5 super chat and says, you better do my Ninja Yoshi justice or I'm going to find you and eat you, big boy. So that's disturbing. I don't want to be eaten by someone whose name is Apples Yo. But, I will do my best. Like I said, I study. This isn't just me, oh, I just want to try the character and I'm just going to jump online and fuck around. No, I actually studied last night for like almost 2 hours right before I went to sleep, watching videos, learning good, quick punishes, good combos, mix up strategies with the stances and stuff. Like the helicopter stance is his best stance in this one. He basically has like multiple ways to transition into it, and each way, when he gets in the helicopter, he can either attack, high, low, grab, or launch. There's 4 options out of the stance, so no one knows what you're going to do. So they have to react. If they don't, they get punished. And the thing is, if they just block a lot, just throw them. Crazy good. Anyway, let's continue. I received a $5 tip from Kirk Reborn. He says, I am back from my fake vacation to Las Vegas. The Niners didn't win. They didn't play a perfect game, which was required to beat the Chiefs, and they missed a 1-point field goal. There's no such thing as a 1-point field goal. I think you're talking about the extra point, which was the difference maker. But on the positive side, I got to see Usher's nipples. So there you go. It's always a positive when you get to see Usher's nipples. Well, thank you, Kirk, for the tip. I appreciate that. So, Kirk, for the record, there were multiple people with your name in chat over the weekend, and I don't know if any of them were actually you, but they were basically saying racist things, and I banned every one of them. So if one of them was really you, you're banned, and I'm not going to unban you again if it was really you, because I thought it was basically someone saw that you said that you were not going to be here this weekend, and they were purposefully impersonating you to cause problems, all right? So I really hope that none of those accounts were really you, because if they are, I'm totally not unbanning you this time. I warned you a million times, and there was just dumb shit being said in the chat, and I said enough is enough. But I figured it was impersonators. I don't know if it was really you or not. Okay. Everyone's like, was it him? It was probably him. I don't know. It's not my job. It's my job to enforce the same rules on everyone in the chat. No one gets special treatment, right? Everyone knows the rules. You're going to be in there. You're going to say dumb shit. You're going to get moderated like everybody else. Okay. Okay, so I think I've gotten through everything here. It looks like another $5 tip just came in. Hold on. My email, here's what happened. My laptop did a Windows update overnight. When my laptop does a Windows update, everything updates. So all the browsers updated, all the windows updated. So now things look weird. They're not like in the right place where they used to be. And I was like, I'm messing with it this morning, like trying to juggle it around and make it look the same how I used to. And it's like an email comes in, but I can't read it, who it's from or anything. It's frustrating. Anyway, I received a $5 tip from an anonymous tipper. Thank you for the continued content. Love seeing you back on fighting games and enjoying life, brother. Thank you very much to the anonymous $5 tipper. Yeah, listen, I have always loved fighting games, right? And I was very sad, honestly, for that extended period of time when Street Fighter V was the most prominent fighting game, and I hated it. It legitimately was terrible for me. It was one of the worst games I've ever played, and everyone wanted to play it and kiss its butt. And I just find it hilarious that the moment Street Fighter 6 was announced and then it came out, everyone just craps on Street Fighter 5. Wow, that game was terrible. No shit. I said it the whole fucking time, and you all just rode the wave of bullshit because you were afraid that Street Fighter was going to die if you admitted the game sucked, right? Now with Street Fighter 6, it reinvigorated fighting games. Tekken 8 is out. It's really good. Like, I really like this game, and I'm excited to keep going with it. So this, to me, this is reinvigorating. I'm re-energized. I'm so happy I bought this joystick. And you know what I have to say about that, too? Again, did you notice when I was playing Street Fighter 6, I would say, man, I'm having issues. Is it the stick? Now I notice I'm playing Tekken, I'm not having any issues. Just saying. Like, I'm not regularly dropping moves or nothing. I think it's Street Fighter 6. I think the netcode of Street Fighter 6 drops inputs regularly because it's that shitty-ass, full-born, rollback netcode nonsense. While in Tekken, although in general, it claims the connections are not as good as Street Fighter 6 and there is some lag, it seems like my moves come out. I'm just saying. That's been my observation. Okay? Anyway, but no, I'm so happy to have fighting games back. Really, it is fun. I love having them in the rotation. And listen, right now I'm playing fighting games more often, right? I am, but maybe eventually I won't play them as often, and that's also fine. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I play them every once in a while, I think it's good. Usagi Jojo says, I don't think Street Fighter 6 is all that great either. Not enough slowed down mid-range play. Though maybe Capcom Cup's highest level play will surprise. Well, here's what happened. Street Fighter 6 was designed in a way that they felt that all the characters would be played differently. The problem is the high-level play is identical. The high-level play of Street Fighter 6 is all the rushdown characters in your face constantly with their mix-ups and shit that you just can't really defend against. It's guessing, a lot of guessing to stop it. And I don't think that's how the game was intended to be played. Take a look at Dalsim. Take a look at Blanca. Take a look at Zangief. They don't play anything like that. They're not meant to. And they were supposed to be viable. But now that the game's hit high level, you don't see those characters at the high level. You only see the same 7 characters repeated 400 times because it's that rushdown style. So ultimately what will happen is they'll rebalance the game and it won't be like that. This was their first season. That's what happened. Watch what's going to happen. They're going to balance. There's going to be rebalanced somehow. And then everyone's going to bitch when the game's not all rushdown domination anymore, right? Anyway, that's my take on it. So, okay. So far, guys, that's all the shout-outs. I'm sure there'll be some more by the end of the podcast. But in the meantime, anything you guys want to talk about, please tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of talk here. Jade says, sup, I tried Yoshimitsu. I love him. I was playing MK1. It's dead, but Tekken 8, I love it. Yeah, man. MK1, and it's hilarious. MK1 sold way more than Street Fighter 6, and the game is completely dead. No one talks about it. No one's playing it. It's just done. Which I said at launch. Did I not say at launch, wow, this game is so simplified. It really is like a simpleton's fighting game compared to Street Fighter 6. They didn't really put effort into making it fun or complex or interesting for the long term. And even the story mode was bad. The writing was terrible. So, yeah, it's like they gave up. And that's sad because that's their flagship series. It's like they just fucking threw in the towel and didn't put enough effort into it. And now here we are. How many months in? It came out in September. So 4 or 5 months in, the game's completely dead. Yet everyone's talking about Street Fighter. And, of course, everyone's talking about playing Tekken. And that game, it has less players than any of them. Pretty sad. Let's see here. I received a $1 tip. Oh, God, here we go. Kirk Reborn did a $1 tip. He says, I'm hugely offended you would assume I would ever be racist. I'm a huge Trekkie. And all for minimum wage as a living wage globally. I believe everyone is equal. And I believe humans are one. Shame on you. Well, you know what they say? Is that... What's the saying? I'm trying to think what the saying is. It's what we, what is it? Is that it's what we do that defines us, right? And as much as people say stuff, it really depends on how they act. And, you know, honestly, there's been some risque stuff being said in chat that I don't like. And I've called it out, okay? So there you go. What's the Batman saying? What is it? What's the Batman saying? The Christopher, not Christopher. The Christopher Nolan Batman. He says something. It's not something, but what we do that defines us. Right? Actions speak louder than words. There you go. I mean, that's the original saying. Correct? Actions speak louder than words is actually the real original saying that then was spun into the Batman saying. So, yeah, exactly. Actions speak louder than words. You could say that, but let's see how you actually act in the chat. And if you act well, then I have no problem with you. But if you act ridiculously, then you're going to be moderated like everybody else. Good morning, Mark. Yes, Mortal Kombat 1 was disappointing. Correct. There you go. It's not who we are underneath, but what we do that defines us. There you are. With great power comes great responsibility. That's a different quote, but it's also a good quote. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. That's what Batman said. Okay. There you go. All right. Anything else you guys want to chat about today? The Skull and Bones beta finished yesterday. Surprise, surprise, the game isn't a dumpster fire. There's actually legitimate fun to be had, says Joe Aloft. I didn't think the game would be a dumpster fire. I just don't know if it's going to be very good to me. Like, from what I saw, it's like if you want to be a virtual pirate and you want to sail this ship and you want to do combat and you want to pillage other ships and you want to go aground, you want to have, you know, this town simulator where you're a pirate in town, you do questing, talking to NPCs or whatever. It seems passable. I just don't think that's something that I'd be looking for in 2024. Like, to me, that's not the gaming experience that I really want, you know? Like, that was part of Assassin's Creed 4. And it was good as part of Assassin's Creed 4, like, a million years ago. But that's not something that I would care about today. And it seems like this game is a game that should have been made 8 years ago. And then people would have been blown away. But the game was delayed into oblivion, and now it's coming out in 2024. It's like, are people really going to care? You know what it might be? This might be the case of one of the games that comes out and no one really cares, but over time, it improves and they add more content and they refine it, and then it becomes a hit. It's one of those Cinderella story games, like Rainbow Six Siege, No Man's Sky, to some extent, even Sea of Thieves, because when Sea of Thieves came out, at first, it was terrible. It was really bad and poorly received. There's nothing to do in it. And then within a few months, they patched it, they added more. They patched it, they added more. And then it became a robust community of people who love that game. So maybe that's what'll happen with Skull and Bones. I don't know. To me, like, I just don't give a shit about it. Like, would I care about a pirate sim game in 2024? It's like been there, done that ages ago. That fad has passed. Oh, let's see here. Jade says he was playing online and getting wins with King in Tekken. That's awesome. Did I like or hate Assassin's Creed 4? I liked Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed 4 is one of my favorites of all time. Like, I would say 2. The 2 trilogy is all outstanding, with Brotherhood maybe being my favorite, but I love the 2 trilogy. And then it's probably Assassin's Creed 4, like, right under there. And then right under there's maybe Odyssey. Like, those are probably, like, my top 3 of the whole series. And then maybe under Odyssey would be, like, the one where you played as the brother and sister. I can't remember the name of that one. That one was really good, too. Was it set in Britain? Okay, I received a $1.50 tip from Anto Kamaru. I've been replaying Final Fantasy VII Remake before Rebirth comes out. I realized how much better this game looks, plays, and feels than Final Fantasy 16. Yup. I love 16, so I'm not agreeing with your thoughts on it, but Square Enix definitely put a lot more effort into the game, and it shows. I'm going to be dodging spoilers for my life when Rebirth comes out. I wish you luck not getting spoiled, too. Yeah, I know, because you know people are going to spoil the fuck out of the story changes and stuff, which is going to suck. I don't want to be spoiled on the story changes, since it is going to be not the original Final Fantasy VII, but a different take on it, right? And so I want to, you know, I want to enjoy it, but you know we're all going to be spoiled. There's nothing you can do. These idiots on the fucking internet spoil everything. The fucking game will be an advanced, like, people right now are probably already playing it. Like, I'm not even kidding. Probably they're already playing it, and they're going crazy with, oh, I can't tell you anything, and then they're going to spoil the fuck out of it. So the whole plot, in a week, the whole plot of the game will be online with all the changes that are different from the original Final Fantasy VII. So whether Aerith lives or dies, we're going to know, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because these idiots can't keep their fucking mouths shut, which is why I keep saying you cannot send advanced copies out anymore. You can't trust humans to not spoil, because they're dunces, and they will spoil anyway. So I guarantee you, within 1 week, we will know the entire fucking plot, whether we want to or not. It's going to be all over the internet, memed all over, and everyone's going to be pissed off that we all got spoiled. I guarantee it. It sucks. Okay. Continuing on. I got a $2 tip. No, but by the way, what I wanted to say was, I agree with you. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake looked superb, played well, and I had a few gripes, but overall I enjoyed it. That's why I'm so hyped for Rebirth. I really am hyped for Rebirth. I'm very excited for it. And then you play 16, and it's like, why does this game run worse than Remake? Why is the gameplay element worse than Remake? Like, what is going on here? And then people are like, oh no, it's such an amazing RPG. I was like, did you just fucking play Final Fantasy VII Remake a few years ago? It was way better than this. Why are you praising this? I received a $2 tip. Did you see Wings left the Lolcow podcast? The trolling got much worse since he joined the show. You were so right to avoid it. Good on you. No shit, Sherlock. And I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying no shit. Everyone knew that who had a brain. Literally every person on this planet who has an iota of intelligence, a working brain cell in their fucking head, knows that the idea of a show called the Lolcow Show or podcast or whatever the fuck that idiot calls it, all right, is a horrible idea. A show based solely on bullying of a select group of people is fucked up. It shouldn't exist. I don't know why YouTube allows it to exist. Someone should say, hey, YouTube, this whole show is bullying. Why? I thought you're anti-bullying. I thought the whole point of your site to have these rules is anti-bullying. Why are you allowing an entire show based on bullying to exist on your fucking website? Are you stupid? Why are you allowing them to monetize the show? It's bullying content. It's horrible. It's immoral. It shouldn't happen. Correct? So anyway, yeah, I'll tell you right now, the whole idea is stupid, right? I want nothing to do with the show ever. I'm never going to be on the show. This is why I told you guys from the moment it was announced and they were trying to get me involved in it, the whole thing was wrong, the way it was gone about. You announce a show and say that I'm going to be on it. You didn't even talk to me yet, you fucking idiot. No, I'm not going to be on your junk show. Like, everything about it is toxic. I want nothing to do with it. Okay, Umi to the super chat and says, Phil, I've been laid off from a job of 4 years. Any tips on what to do next? Sure. Number one, don't donate to online streamers because you need your money. Seriously. Like, I don't know why you would have super chatted me if you just lost your job. You should be conserving as much money as possible right now. Okay? Number two, don't give up hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Even though things may look dark right now, especially if it was unexpected that you lost your employment, things will always get better. Just be determined and don't give up. All right? That's my advice. So, Umi, thanks for the super chat, but keep it for yourself from now on because you're going to need the help more than me, I'm sure. Okay? Jeez. Alrighty then. Okay. Yeah, see, this is... Definitely this is not correct. Hold on. Because I used to be able to see more, and now I can't see as much, so maybe the window's not stretched out enough. Okay, now I can see better. This must... Okay. I received a $25 tip from 1 Minute Man. Thank you, 1 Minute Man, as always, for your generous support of all of my content here on the internet. No matter what I'm doing or where I'm streaming, I really appreciate that. And that is the biggest contribution of the day so far. And that will get us up to our tier 1 goal for the day. Thank you so much for that. That'll help for yesterday. You know, it was a slower day because of the Super Bowl. So thank you so much for allowing me to hit tier 1 before we even booted the game. That is well appreciated. Thank you, 1 Minute Man. Okay. Excuse me. You cannot refund super chats. Don't say something stupid. BITW awesome. You know that too, so to stop being a dummy. Joel Loft says the twins with the Jacob and Evie in Victorian London was called Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Thank you. So Syndicate I actually liked. I don't think a lot of people liked Syndicate. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really well done. Thank you, Dupree, for a super chat. I appreciate that. And it's your very first one. Thank you for that. Excuse me. Man. Man, stupid. Don't get my throat today. There we go. Cool. Okay. Have I ever showed us my setup from my point of view? It would be cool to see my office. I mean, 100 years ago, yes. And honestly, my setup has not changed. The only thing different about my setup today than back in the day is what's behind me and the ring light. But everything else is the same. Like, if you're sitting in my perspective right now, here's what you see. All right? Staring straight ahead, there's actually nothing. It's open air. Slightly to my left, I have the ring light and the webcam on a tripod. In front of the tripod is a laptop desk, and on that desk I have so many things, including my cleaning cloths, my cell phone, the laptop where I monitor chat and donations so that I can call all this out during the stream, my microphone right here, mouse so that I control my desktop with this mouse wirelessly, light adjuster controller, my receiver unit for the microphone, I forget what it's actually called, the Scarlet or something like that, my seltzer water, and also filtered water, so I have both. okay? Directly more to my left in the background is my PC, my desktop. And this is where OBS is running on a monitor, and I can monitor OBS and see everything going on with the stats of the stream, how long a video has been recorded, and all of that stuff. All right there, and the dashboard on YouTube. Further to my left, I have my closet, memory foam on the wall, and my lighting and my backdrop, okay? To my right, I have my TV in the background. So it's back there, back set against the wall of the office. That's where I play the games. To the right of that is a smaller folding table. On top of that, I have my gaming controller and my headset that's sitting there, usually charging, or my next set, I should call it. Another wireless keyboard, and this is the keyboard I use to update the leaderboards for all of your contributions, okay? As well as my Gunner glasses sit there, and the controllers for the TV, and the little receiver unit for audio that I use to decode the audio for my PS5 and my Switch, okay? And then on the floor is my joystick, which is leaning against that folding table at an angle, and it just kind of sits there until I'm going to use it, and then I clean it off with these cleaning cloths. So that's what you see sitting here as a broadcaster in my office, right? And you're like, well, would you just show the setup? No, I'm not going to show any of that, because then something will fucking be shown accidentally that I don't want to show, because, you know, everything in here is my business-related stuff. Right now, I've got stuff over on my table over there that's tax-related, because I'm in the midst of going to start work on my taxes and shit like that. You know, I got stuff all over the office that's business-related. I'm not going to be filming in here outside of what you see here and then accidentally show something. And then, oh, he leaked this information, and I'll post it all over the internet, and I'll harass him with the information. No, fuck you. I'm not going to do that, because these idiots are losers. You know, fuck those kind of people who are that messed up in the head, and that's why I don't do that. But there you go. Okay. Yeah, my setup is way more, honestly, way more complex than most people. Most people, they're just sitting at PC, and on one monitor they got a game, and one monitor they got their stream, and that's it. Me, I'm surrounded by shit. I really am. But I'm open air. Like, as you can see, I'm not sitting hunched in front of a PC screen like most people. I'm open air when I play these games. That's why my setup looks so different, and it feels different. I like the open air feeling of me streaming, as opposed to being hunched over my computer desk doing everything right there in front of my face and stuff like that. I actually like this better. Bob, who is Vosh? I don't even know who that is. I'm supposed to know who someone named Vosh is. I never heard of them. Out of the big releases in March, which ones would I want to play the most? There's Alone in the Dark, Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2. I mean, I already said Rise of the Ronin and Dragon's Dogma 2. Alone in the Dark, I mean, obviously it's a horror suspense game with a good cast, but no one knows if it's going to be any good. And if you don't know if it's going to be any good, you know, I'm interested in it, but I want more information on it. So these are Gunner glasses, yes. And people are asking, how are the Gunner glasses? Do they actually work? They do. The Gunner glasses actually have made my eyes burn less. When I was playing for several years and I wasn't using these glasses, I would say, oh, my eyes are burning. My eyes don't really burn that much anymore as long as I'm wearing these. I think it's a combination of factors. Number one, having something in front of your eyes blocks airflow. And right now I have a fan on. And if the fan was just blowing on my eyes, it would dry them out. But having these glasses on kind of prevents that. So that's a good thing. That's number one. Number two, yeah, they block blue light because they're yellow tint. They block blue light. And yes, do I notice that games look slightly off color? Yes, I do. But you get used to it. And once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. And I do feel like they help with eye strain. Now, are they worth a ton of money? Probably not. And I've seen that some of Gunner glasses go for hundreds of dollars. No, they're not worth that. But if you get one on the cheap, yeah, they do a good job, I feel. Do I prefer this gaming chair over the sofa? Yes, and here's why. That love seat that I used to have in this office never had support. Since the day I bought it, it was shit. It was crap. I sit down in it, it's like sinking in. It gave no support at all. This chair has good support, has a big lumbar pillow that's super good, made of memory foam. It's not some shitty pillow. It's a real lumbar support pillow. It's got leg support. It's got nice armrest support. It's got a back. It's got everything supported. So I could sit here all day and not feel like, oh, God, my body. And, you know, I used to do marathons. And when I was done with those marathons, I felt like shit. Now, today, I still feel exhausted. But this chair has helped tremendously with that. You know, I definitely, when this chair in probably a couple more years starts to wear out and break, I want another one very similar to this one, which means, no, don't buy the stupid tie-in gaming chairs that everyone tries to oversell. This one wasn't that expensive, but it's actually much better than those. I really love it. Oh, Vosh is a socialist streamer. Well, why do you think I don't know who he is? I don't follow political streamers. So why would I know anything about that or care? I don't give a shit. I don't care what Vosh is doing, what's being discovered on his PC. I don't care. Why are you going to get me to comment on something I don't know nothing about? Jasper looks happy today. How is he? Oh, he's good. He's running around. He's running around being excited today. It's a cooler day today. So he's actually running around the house and a lot of creatures outside today in the cooler weather. What kind of a TV do I have? Bought it a couple years ago. My old TV broke. My old TV was what, a Roku TV or something like that? I don't even know what it was. No, it wasn't a Roku. TCL. It was a TCL TV. That was my old TV. I had that for like 3 years and it busted. So then I said, I'm going to actually spend money this time, and I bought a Sony. So this is like a Sony $800 really good 4K low delay TV. And I love it. It looks amazing. All the games I played on this thing have been great. There's almost no input delay on this TV. It was worth the money. It really was worth the money because the other TV was like a discount TV. This one totally is worth every buck. I just hope it lasts a long time for what I paid for it, but it's a superb TV. Yes, I think this TV does do 120 frames. The thing is, my capture setup's too limited to take advantage. I can't do HDR. I can't do 120 frames. I can't do 4K. I can't do any of that with my setup. My PC can't handle it. My capture device can't handle it. But if I were to just watch like a movie on here, I could probably do crazy good quality. How big is it? I have no clue. Not big. It's a smaller TV just meant to fit the office size that I have here. When I moved here, I had a giant TV and it didn't really work. It was too big for the office, so I've gotten smaller TVs ever since. Oh, my goodness. Why do I like streaming? Because streaming is the most meaningful job I've ever had in my life. You know, here's the jobs I've had. Fast food. I worked at Circuit City. I worked at Best Buy. Schilling Electronics. I worked at a bank for a year where they tried to get me to sell high interest rate loans, credit cards, and mortgages to people who had bad credit, which was really fucked up. It was a predatory lender. I worked at a helicopter company where at first I was promised the world, and then I was basically abused and overworked, and I did double work for most people who worked in the goddamn building and was never paid for it. Then they laid me off after 4.5 years of me busting my ass. Every job I've ever worked, it felt like I was just being used. You know what I mean? I would actually say out of all the jobs I had before YouTube, the best job I ever had was the fast food job. Do you want to know why? Because my boss was a normal guy like anyone else. He wasn't some corporate asshole, and he cared about the employees, and he was a nice guy. He gave me hours when I needed them. And the job sucked. Don't get me wrong. Working fast food is terrible. It's shit. Shit work. But he gave me hours when I needed them. He gave me time off when I needed it. He treated me with respect, and we were almost like friends and family rather than like a job. That's the kind of job you want. And that was the best time I ever had. All the other jobs I had after that sucked ass, you know? And then when I became a YouTuber, totally different experience. Now I'm a master of my own domain. I make my own schedule. I do my own work. I get to choose what I do with my work. I don't get anyone to tell me this and now, like, quotas aren't good and this is fucked up and that and all that bullshit. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit with being a YouTuber for sure. But at the same time, it's just so meaningful. People tell me every day, thank you so much for doing what you do because it has meaning to us. Awesome. Do you really think that when I was, pumping out fast food or doing high interest rate loans to people, that people were like, oh, thanks so much. It has so much meaning to us. Oh, yeah. I just ruined your financial future. I'm glad it has much meaning to you, right? Today, the things I do are actually positive and good for people. And people love it, what I put out there. And every day we get to hang out and have good discussion and positive vibes with each other. And we get to share stories about each other's lives and experiences. It's way more meaningful what I do today than anything I ever did before I was a streamer or a YouTuber. So that's why I love doing it. With all the trolling and bullshit I got to put up with, it's worth it for the fact that I know that I'm doing something good, you know? So there you go. Well, yeah, I know that. Gabe says, people make $20 an hour working fast food today. I'd be rich as a teen, but I was born too early. Yep. Yeah, when I started working fast food, I was only 15, which actually was under the age you were supposed to work. And I remember minimum wage back then was $5 and change, like $5.25, something like that. $5.15, $5.25. That's what it was in the 90s. That was minimum wage. So think about that. From the 1990s to 2024, the minimum wage has quadrupled. You see something wrong with that? Perhaps our society is a little messed up, that prices have increased that much that we feel like we have to quadruple base pay in order to even make ends meet and have an affordable living. Like, what happened there? In 30 years, prices have quadrupled? Like, what is going on? Anyway, again, this is not going to be a political stream. You guys have anything else you want to chat about today before we adjourn here and I try out Yoshimitsu for the first time? Really? Tigaholic says the minimum wage is still $7.25 in most states. That's crazy. I mean, in some places it is insane. It's like they're paying like $15 to $20 an hour at like fast food places. So I don't know. I don't know anything about it, obviously. Any plans to open up a new suggestion box? Maybe. We never got through the old one, but I feel like that one is so outdated now because it was September, October. Maybe we should open up a new suggestion box at some point to get fresh suggestions for the new year. Maybe that makes sense. If you remind me, maybe I'll set that up later in the week. Maybe we should do that, and then we'll have some new suggestions to draw upon for podcasts. What's up, Rugal? He says Yoshimitsu is going to be awesome. To this day, is one of my mains on Tekken. Cool. Again, the cool part about Yoshimitsu, he has so much in his moveset, in his repertoire. Two people can play this character insanely differently. And they could actually never use the same moves. I mean, the juggles, yes, the combos are going to be similar. But outside of that, like, the mix-ups, the setups, do you use unblockables? You don't have to, but do you use them? Do you use more of his trick moves? Or do you use more poke moves? Do you use punish moves? Are you constantly fishing for a big juggle? Do you trick them into a throw? Like, what? He has so much. He has so much. It's so versatile of a character. And that's neat. I like that about the character. My all-time favorite games to play are basically my favorites in each category. Like, for example, my favorite platformer of all time is Super Mario World. My favorite fighting game is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, right? Those are the games that I like. I could go back and play them endlessly, like classics that I love to go back to. My favorite JRPGs, probably like Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or Chrono Trigger or Earthbound, like those kind of games. And I could go back and play those endlessly and not get bored. Yes, Yoshimitsu in Tekken is the same character as Soul Calibur. He's considered a guest character in Soul Calibur because he originated in Tekken. But it's the same guy. All right. I think it is time. Let's end the show and get ready here to get started in Tekken. All right. I thank you all. Great podcast today. Thanks for the early support. Hopefully we can keep that rolling for the Yoshimitsu gameplay today. And if you're not going to stick around for this, remember, Pal World tonight, Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow, so good variety coming up this week. And thanks for chilling, everyone. So, good stuff this week, good fun. I'm excited to try, all the new stuff happening, and thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you don't have too bad of a hangover from the Super Bowl. And I hope that you have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow on another fun episode of the Level 1 Podcast.